Every chess player are looking for the perfect opening to start their game, in order to have a comfortable position, in order to have a favorable position, in order to have an advantage over their opponent. And today I'm going to show you an opening that is used by grandmasters a lot of times, but it's still a very underground opening, an opening that is not very known. And it starts with e4, best by test by Bobby Fischer. And today we're simply going to look at if they play e5, you develop your knight, they develop their knight. You've all seen this before, yeah? This is the perfect developing strategy grandmasters use, and now you're simply going to play d4, the Scotch game. And you may think, well, Scotch game, I haven't seen many grandmasters play this. Well, there are a few grandmasters who play this consistently, like Carlsen likes to play it, Hikaru, Kramnik, and stuff like this. But I'm not here to talk about the Scotch game normally. We're simply going to move this bishop. We're going to ignore the pawn. We're not going to take it back right now, okay? And now, this is called the Scotch Gambit. Hikaru's father uses it, and Hikaru literally recommended it to his father. I've seen a video on that quite some time ago. And it's played at GM level by Kramnik, which was a world chess champion. Magnus Carlsen plays it quite often, and the other chess grandmasters as well. So there is literally no reason for you not to know it, okay? And we're going to have a look at one of the most popular lines for now, which is bishop to c5. The opponent tries to defend the bishop. Now what you're going to do is, obviously, you're not going to take the bishop, because that is going to lead to a pawn loss. You're completely losing, and not only a pawn loss, but a piece loss. So instead, you're simply going to gambit another pawn. You're going to tell your opponent, come on, go ahead, take another one. And your opponent will not know what is going to come to them, okay? They're going to take the pawn, which is the most popular line. And now you're going to sacrifice the bishop. Well, it seems counterintuitive, but all of a sudden, you're all over your opponent, and after they go back, you give another check. Here they can decide to go back and you take with check and then collect the pawn. Or if they push this pawn, they've now weakened this diagonal, and they either decide to put your queen on the diagonal, or they can decide to take another pawn and put your bishop over here, which is both favorable for you. Now in this position, they need to defend the rook, and now they needed to develop the knight. You know, you cannot take the knight right away because it's protected by the queen, so that is not favoring you. But instead, you're going to attack the knight right away once again. And now after they defend it once more, you're simply going to castle. If they take, you're going to bring the rook to e1, and now the knight is pinned, and you've pretty much won the game from here. So this is one of the most favorable lines for you, okay? And also, good news, this is one of the most popular ones as well, because they do not want to lose this pawn. Now, what else can your opponent do? I'm going to show you another flashy line, okay? The opponent develops the bishop, not trying to be overly aggressive, they just want to make sure that their development is intact, but that is not really helping them at all, because you're going to gambit another pawn. Here, if they do anything stupid, you're simply going to take the pawn, and now you have two pawns in the center and everything's fine. And if they decide to take, it's also not a good idea. And no, this time it's not a bishop sacrifice, because you see, the bishop is over here and not here, so you cannot take that. But instead, you're simply going to threaten checkmate right away. The bishop and the queen join for the f7 square, and now you can see the black is quite struggling to defend that, right? They can try to run away, but there is no way out, and it's checkmate. Or they can have a try at defending this with only one move, which is developing the knight over here. And I'm telling you, I've had hundreds of games where the opponent didn't even see this specific move, and they simply resigned because they saw, okay, he's threatening checkmate, and I don't know how to do and how to play against this, okay? So this is something that is going to be quite literally overseen by many of your opponents, and after they do that, you're simply going to take. Now you see, you're threatening checkmate right away again, yeah? And if they know the line, they're going to castle, and now you're going to sacrifice the bishop. A brilliant move. You're going to wonder, why sacrificing the bishop? Well, they take, and you're going to take over here. If you do not sacrifice the bishop and you bring the bishop all the way back, the knight is all of a sudden going to overramp you, and whatever you try to do, they're going to start pushing and start attacking everything, and now your position is falling apart. So you cannot do that. Instead, you're simply going to sacrifice the bishop, and here you see the king is wide in the open, and if the knight does something like this, you're simply going to bring the queen to d2. Yes, this is the favorite line of some of my opponents, so in this specific position, I am quite literally favored, because this position showcases a lot, you see. the opponent's king is wide open, and now what you're going to try to do is you're simply going to castle. You could castle long as well, but it's not really that good. You're simply just going to castle short, and after the opponent does a few developing moves, what you're going to do is, you see, you're just going to play normally. If they trade, from here on, the opponent's king is wide open. You can start your attack right away, and it's not really going to be that difficult for you, okay? Now, I need to show you 2 more lines before you can go out and try it out for yourself, so you need to be safe before you do that, okay? So you bring out, if they bring out the... So I need to show you 2 more lines before you can go out and try it out for yourself, because I want you to be safe out there, okay? If they bring out the bishop, checking your king, what I want you to do is you're going to block, and after they take, you're simply going to castle. If the opponent take once again, you're simply going to have these 2 strong bishops, and from here, you're going to have a comfortable game. But if they do not take and develop the knight instead attacking the pawn, you're first going to attack the bishop, they move back, you push. And here, if they do know the line, they're simply going to push d5. You're going to go over here, and the knight is under attack, so they have to jump in. You play c4. This is quite easy, so you need to simply memorize it for a little bit. Yeah, that's the case with all openings, it's nothing new. And if they do something stupid, like taking, what you're going to do is you're going to play queen to a4, and you see you're double attacking over here. And even if they do defend this, you're simply going to collect the bishop, and this is another sneaky way for you to win the game. So yeah, that's quite simple. And this is exactly what you do in this bishop to b4 variation. You're simply trying to develop and hinder the bishop's development at some point, if they do not allow your bishop to develop over here, okay? And let's take a look at another line. This is knight to f6. This is also one of the more popular lines, and now you're going to push. If your opponent does not know what they do, and they happen to play this move by mistake, or by accident, or on a random because they thought it's good, you're simply going to push, and the opponent is going to see, well, my knight is attacked, I cannot go here, I do not want to go back. Going over here doesn't really give me any chances, so I might as well just attack the pawn. Where you're just going to castle, and after they take, you're going to take, they take back, and rook to e1 already seals the deal, because even if they try to defend the pawn, the knight is already pinned, and you're going to push the pawn, and yeah, you're pretty much, whatever they do, you're pretty much going to win the knight and hopefully win the game, because you're already in an advantageous position. But after you play e5, they can play d5, and now after you move the bishop, they're going to jump in here, and you're simply going to take like this with the knight. Let's repeat once again, because it might have been a little bit quick. So what you do is you're going to push, and now if the okay, well, this is my bad. So they develop the knight, you push. If they push, you're simply going to attack the bishop, the knight, and pin the knight and move the bishop out of the way. And now after they jump in with the knight, you're going to move in your knight, capturing the pawn that you gambited, and attacking, putting more pressure on the pinned knight as well. They have to defend the pinned knight, and now if you take and they take back with the bishop, you're going to take the bishop as well, doubling their pawns. And if they take with the pawn right away, what you're going to do is you're going to leave your knight right there and just going to castle. They usually attack over here because they do want to target that pawn. If they do know the line, they're going to play that, but you're simply going to attack over here. It seems counterintuitive because you're pinning the knight, but after they have to move the knight away, you're going to unpin yourself. And here, if they decide to castle, you're just going to attack the knight once again. They can now go here, to which you play c3, because be careful, if you take and they take with check, you have to move out of the way and then take over here, and then they are already winning, okay? Do not do that. Instead, just play c3 after take. You're going to take back. You have a strong setup over here. You're going to develop the queen. You're going to develop the knight, and from there on, you're going to have a comfortable game. And if they do jump back in here, you're simply going to develop the knight. If they take, you take back, and you're simply going to trade something like this. You see, they have these doubled pawns that you can play for. It's a weakness in their game, and that is quite important for you as well. So yeah, these were pretty much all the lines that you need to know. Maybe I can show you really quickly if they play something like d6 or h6. What you can do is you're simply going to capture the pawn once again. Your queen is now active, there is no knight to attack you, and you're simply going to develop your pieces, castle either short or long. This is preference, and you can try it out for yourself what you think you can try out in a game. So let me play out real quick. what you're going to do is you're going to do something like this. You can castle long and then start an attack on the king side, or you can just be safe, castle short, and play it slowly, okay? And yeah, this is basically all you need to know for now. We can go more in depth another time, so make sure to follow and let me know in the comments below if I should show a little bit more of this opening.